Fans say hate to reveal their secrets. They apparently never do, but the producer of David Copperfield's stage show was forced to do just that because of a lawsuit. Omar Jimenez has the story.
It's called the Vanishing Crowd or Lucky 13 illusion. David Copperfield picks participants at random by throwing 13 balls into the audience. The volunteers are placed in a cage that hovers over the stage and, abracadabra, they disappear and then reappear in the back of the room. Well, the cat's out of the bag.
Once these lights come on, they are outside of the physical prop.
Right.
Once a group of lights comes on.
Now, during this time period, they're en route, let's say, right? Correct. They're en route to appear in the back of the theater.
Yes.
That's executive producer Chris Kenner explaining how the magic trick works.
And then this is a little hallway covered at the top. They would come through and then step down the stairs. That would be the first exit out of the...
In reality, the participants are led through back passageways in the hotel, through a kitchen at a quick speed so they can pop up and surprise the audience. A man named Gavin Cox took part in the trick in 2013 and says he tripped backstage and fell into a dark construction zone. He claims to have permanent brain damage. A year after the incident, Cox filed suit against Copperfield, the MGM Grand Hotel, and 3 other companies connected to the show. Copperfield told the court the night Cox participated in the trick, he ran the course with no problems.
You said that if there was an obstacle or a problem in the way,
and I didn't deal with it, if I didn't do anything about it, and during my runaround, I took a pass before, if I saw it and didn't deal with it, it would be my fault for sure.
Here, there's a person standing right here.
Right.
Copperfield's executive producer says he never got the impression Cox was seriously injured.
He said that a gentleman slipped during the trick and fell. At the trick, he spoke to him and asked him if he was okay. He said yes. Mr. Cox said yes.
Copperfield has been performing the illusion in a showcase for 10 years. It's unclear if it'll remain part of his show.
Everyone, look behind you!
I'm Omar Jimenez reporting.
Joining us now for more on this is Los Angeles-based attorney Anahita Setagatva. And I got that right.
You got it perfect.
Thank you, Anahita. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming back in. Okay, so David Copperfield's lawyers tried really hard in a pre-trial motion to keep this part of the hearing basically closed to the public.
Right.
They argued that if it was put out there how this magic trick was told to the world, there would be financial harm done to David Copperfield. And that seems actually a pretty reasonable request. So why was it denied?
I agree with you that that's a reasonable request. His attorneys fought hard to not have this secret disclosed in open court because this is his brand. This is his business. It's kind of like having Apple go and publicly disclose all of their coding.
Sure.
It's unreasonable. But the judge held, no, we can talk about this in open court because guess what? He's performed this trick thousands of times over 10 years. People knew the secret about the trick and it hasn't damaged Copperfield. So having it happen in open court is not going to damage him. I disagree with that ruling.
It's like putting the recipe for Coca-Cola out there or
Absolutely. It's a trade secret. This is his brand. So I disagree with that court's ruling.
Okay, well, we had David Copperfield, when he was testifying, lawyers for the injured man, a guy called Gavin Cox, the attorney kept hammering away on the issue of fault. Who was to blame for this construction dust, which they claim was along the path where Cox fell? Listen to part of the exchange here.
someone is on the route and they fall and get injured, it's never your fault. Is that a correct statement? It's never your fault.
If there was a piece of debris in the middle of the way, if we were forcing them to do it, if there's all these hypothetical things, then of course it would be the fault.
Yes.
So why is this question of fault so important here about what was in that tunnel and what wasn't?
They're trying to blame him for his own injury. I can tell you this attorney here was being very aggressive. He's acting like a bulldog, and that's good. That's okay. You want the attorney to kind of be like an advocate, but sometimes that can backfire and a jury can hold that against you. And I think this attorney was taking it a little bit too far. And when you're asking for millions of dollars in a case and you have an attorney that's that aggressive, not so good.
So it can go against them, okay.
Yeah, it can backfire.
So the accident happened back in 2013. The lawsuit was filed a couple of months after that. And again, Copperfield was pressed if he knew anything about this accident when it happened at the time. And again, this is another example of sort of an aggressive exchange between the attorney and Copperfield.
You didn't know about it.
I found out a year later when we were sued.
When it happened, you didn't know about it, correct?
Correct.
That was my question.
So why is this relevant?
So the attorney's probably trying to say you didn't care. You don't even know about things that happen in your own show. You're just about making money. I think, again, that's just his trying to be a bulldog. That's his tactic. It's going to backfire. I've seen this in trials before where the attorney tries to blame the defendant personally for something that he really had no part in, and I think that's what he was trying to do there.
Is he going after Copperfield because Copperfield's just so high profile? Because there are other parties named in this lawsuit.
Absolutely, absolutely. So he's going after Copperfield because he's the star. That's why we're talking about it. If it was just the MGM, we wouldn't be all over TV talking about this case.
And Copperfield, I guess, has really deep pockets too.
Yes, so the insurance company will pay part of this judgment or whatever happens, but they're going after Copperfield personally, and they know that he has the money to satisfy any judgment they get. I'm
just waiting for the plaintiff here. It does seem like a really tough case because I always thought that if you go to a magic show like this, or you go watch Tigers, at Mandalay Bay or whatever it is, you assume a certain amount of risk when you go to this. So you've got a certain amount of responsibility here for it. And even more so, I guess, if you participate in a magic trick like Cox was doing.
And that's a great point. And when this case goes to a jury, they will make that decision. They will say how much of it was this individual's fault. He contributed to his injury. They can then make that allocation when they're giving a judgment. They can say, okay, we award $1 million, but he was 40% at fault. He assumed the risk that something like this could happen. I think that's absolutely reasonable. And in fact, it could be that they get a defense verdict in this case, that the plaintiff gets absolutely nothing.
It's a shame David Copperfield isn't a real magician. And he could go back in time and fix everything.
Yes,
and wave a magic
if he was
wand.
a real magician, he could get rid of this lawsuit, right?
But clearly not.
No.